These keyboards are all technically different. I mean, the materials are different. So for example, this one is made of purely ceramic. It's entirely ceramic, so you literally can't even get it to be wireless. This one is a ceramic keycaps. And as you can see, the keycaps are, actual ceramic, kiln fired and cracked. Then there's also this one, which is like a typewriter, and definitely I had to get it, right? Now the last one is this. The last one is this. It's extremely shiny. Thinking of whether I can use this for work instead. And so actually all of the keyboards kind of come from Kickstarter somehow. So I think it's also a good time for me to share maybe what I think about whether you should be getting your keyboards and your keyboard accessories from Kickstarter as well. And so a quick bit of context is that I'm not really a keyboard person. I really wouldn't call myself a keyboard person. I'm not a person that would custom build a keyboard specially or modify certain things like adding foam. I'm just a guy that types a lot. I use a keyboard a lot, and so I do a bit of research here and there. And I see interesting keyboards here and there on websites. Kickstarter is one of my favorite websites, and I think pretty much all 4 keyboards are from Kickstarter. Some of them are new, like independent brands, but some are established brands that have pretty much started their own shops, but they are using Kickstarters for launching new products and stuff. And so one of the keyboards that I have been looking at for very long and I managed to get when it launched on Kickstarter is this. And that's the Qwerkywriter 10-year anniversary edition. And as you can see, the keyboard is typewriter style. And so really, if you are a person that loves typing or type a lot, this is really the dream, right? It's like the old school writer's kind of dream. The keycaps are custom made from the company itself, but the switches are actually Cherry MX switches. And you get an option, of course, when you purchase it to swap out. And so I swapped out most of them to be Cherry MX, so it's clicky and I love typing on it. The build itself is aluminium. It's actually kind of solid, and I wouldn't say it's heavy, but it is pretty weighty because it is entirely metal. And the round keycaps have a bit more feel in my opinion. Because of the shape, I did take some time to get used to typing on it because it's round and it's a bit elevated. So you do have to get like a wrist pad or something. But after I got used to it, typing on it was pretty okay, I think, although occasionally because of the layout and the way your hand will be angled, I do kind of fat finger some keys and have typos here and there. It also comes with some unique features that other keyboards don't have. So first is the classic typewriter lever, and if you know a typewriter, this is where they will press, basically it's like an enter key, you go to the next line. Because on the old typewriters, when they swipe the lever, is to reset the entire metal return bar back to the start. And here they have made it into a enter key. So actually when you're typing, you can use this to press enter to go to the next line. Next is 2 different rotating knobs. They are kind of nice to rotate with because there's like the small bumps all around. So this side is for scrolling. So actually when I'm scrolling long documents, reading through many documents, this is very helpful to make it easy. I can just like lean my hand down and like scroll it. I don't need to, press or whatever. And this side is for volume, and honestly, if you're in the office, I think you won't really use it that much. You can actually custom these two to be something else, but I didn't really find any specific needs for it other than what they are already, so I left it at that. It is also able to connect on Bluetooth and is wireless, and actually it has, if you can see, 3 different kind of connects, so you can connect to 3 different devices, and as you change like function 1, function 2, function 3, you can go between the devices. And that's why they actually have this spot for you to put, some people put like iPad or iPhone. So personally for me, this really made my work experience a bit better. Of course, for the price of about $200 to $300. Is it really worth? I'm still not sure. But it's definitely not for gaming, okay? And some people do say online that this is actually more like a novelty toy rather than an actual work keyboard. But I think it works as long as you're able to type properly on it. And as you can see, this sort of aesthetic for people who love typing or type regularly, it really is a unique thing that you don't get nowadays. And it kind of like turns on a switch in your brain that you're doing cool work, you're doing something interesting. So that's something to think about if you're interested to get it. Next is this, a glossy ceramic keyboard from Keychron. And Keychron launched this as kind of like a next generation keyboard that is entirely built with ceramic. And so you literally can't even like get it to be wireless, it has to be wired. And it's kind of like a keyboard, gaming keyboard that comes with next gen mechanical switches that is like magnetic. I don't know if Keychron has started selling this on their website, but if you're considering getting it and if it's out there, I think you should try it for a few reasons. First, it's actually much lighter than I expect. It's a bit lighter than the other metal keyboards. But the whole body, as you can see, is fully ceramic. So it's not wireless at all. You have to use a wire connection. And so if you're the kind of person that is irked by having wires on your table, I don't think this is for you. However, it is entirely ceramic. And so the texture they are touching is not the typical plastic. The switches are also unique switches. According to Keychron, they are like some sort of brand new magnetic ultra fast Lime TMR switches. And these are Tano magneto-resistant switches, which is a step up from the Hall effect magnetic switches that most gaming keyboards actually use. And so it's more precise, it's more reliable, and it has actuation that you can actually kind of custom, but I didn't. It has 8K polling rate and it has a rapid trigger, all of that. So when you're gaming, this is really not going to make any mistakes. Honestly, the keys are very smooth to press on. They are fast, they are light. I don't feel like I have to put a lot of effort to press the button, and there's no real click, however. But to me, this is still okay because there is still kind of a sound when you're pressing on it, but it's not really from the switches, it's from the ceramic case. On that note, the ceramic sound is something genuinely quite different from other keyboards that you may have, because the whole shell is ceramic, and so you are actually hearing the sound from ceramic hitting ceramic. And this is something that you're not going to get from a plastic keycap or aluminium keyboard. So I've been using this so far for a lot of general home use and gaming, and the experience has been pretty good in my opinion. I use it for shooters, I use it for games like MMORPGs, I use it for MOBA, so I think it's pretty okay, pretty well balanced, and it's pretty good. And I think ceramic keyboards are still kind of new in the market, ceramic keys and ceramic keyboards, kind of new. So I am a bit worried if it's gonna break, because you don't know how the ceramic keys may chip or break off. So far, nothing has happened. The only issue I've seen is that because I have kind of sweaty palms, after gaming for like a few days or using it for like a week or so, there's a bit of accumulation of dirt on it, but I think that happens with most other keyboards as well. Just that it's kind of obvious because it's so bright, and maybe also because of the way it is shaped as a ceramic keyboard. Third is my custom build, sort of, which is this. And these are the very famous Cerakey keycaps, which are ceramic glossed and baked, and so it's kind of cracked, and you can see the cracking on it. Of course, I got into it a bit later, but after I installed it, it really looks quite beautiful and very unique. This was my first few interesting keyboards, I would say. So Cerakey is actually the one that pioneered the idea of having ceramic keycaps, and Cerakey actually started on Kickstarter as well. So they started in 2022 with the first ceramic keycap set that raised over $500,000, and these are, we're talking about industrial grade alumina ceramic keycaps, each one that is fired at over 1100 degrees Celsius. This is a keycap. It looks kind of like this, as you can see. It's made of the same material as your kitchen tiles. The keycaps themselves kind of cost as much as some complete keyboards actually. I had a tough time deciding what kind of switches I wanted because these keys are actually heavier. I wanted to avoid a situation where the sounds from the keycaps was actually louder than the switch itself. And so I opted for Gateron Quinn switches. Quinn switches are kind of a good mix between clicky and tactile. And so you get the bump when you press, and you also get the click, which is exactly what I like. And so the sound that you get from this keyboard is going to be very different from any other keyboard. So it's not even like how the Keychron one is. The sound is kind of like you have a ceramic plonk. Let me try to get it. It's like this plink. The sound you get is this plink that you can't get from plastic keycaps. So some people find it a bit different, a bit annoying. I find it kind of satisfying in a certain way because you are like touching an actual towel kind of feeling. The first problem is the keycaps are actually very heavy. If you want to do this and use Cerakey keycaps for your keyboard, you got to make sure that your switches are able to handle it. And just nice, the Quinn switches have the enough actuation weight for it. If not, the switches will always be constantly being pressed. However, the smoothness of the keycap, as you can see how the light shines, it can be a bit too smooth. And so if you are gaming with it, your fingers can't really grip the keys as much as with other normal keycaps. One thing that I have experienced with this is, however, that because you are pressing and hitting in a sense, or when you're typing on the keycaps that are ceramic and these are hard keycaps, it's actually a bit painful. But I don't really feel pain. I kind of feel like I would call it like impact numbness. Like if you keep hitting your finger against the wall for like 5 minutes, you're going to feel like it's not painful, but your fingertips may feel a bit numb. Now the last one is this. The last one is this. It's extremely shiny and it's actually another kind of custom build, but it is the Lofree Flow 2. So the keyboard base is the Lofree Flow 2 and it's a low profile keyboard, and I swapped in the Awekeys metal keycaps, which are also low profile, which was recently backed on Kickstarter also. It looks very gorgeous and actually it's quite heavy because it's all metal. So first, the Lofree Flow 2 keyboard is a low profile keyboard that is built and encased in aluminium, and this is really the keyboard equivalent of a well-tailored suit, right? It's like one big piece of aluminium. And the Awekeys started also as a Kickstarter project, but only with the recent project then they went with low profile kind of keycaps. And so normally with Lofree switches, the sound can be a bit muted. So Lofree has their own switches that they kind of collab with Kailh, but with the metal keycaps, it actually feels a bit different. It does feel a bit sharper, a bit more metallic. It feels metal for sure. You're actually just typing on metal. And it's not really the clickety kind of click. The Kailh Pulse switches are more tactile rather than clicky. So you just feel the tuk when you are pressing it. But between the tactile bump and the metal hitting the surface, you get something that feels quite expensive, like you're pressing something that is important. So Lofree has a very good approach to building mechanical keyboards. This is very versatile. It can connect to up to 3 devices. There's a 2.4 GHz dongle for you to use for wireless gaming as well. The battery also genuinely lasts over 100 hours on Bluetooth, so you're not going to be worried on that. And there's a kind of a sidebar at the side here. It's like a touch bar, so it's for you to control volume and brightness. It also comes with VIA support, so you can remap the keys if you want without any specific manufacturer software. Personally, for me, I don't like to customize any of the switches because I think that's very confusing, but you can do it, so I think that's something good. And it's kind of slim. As you can see, it's very slim, although the weight is significantly heavier than like the ceramic keyboard because it's purely metal. I also went ahead to get extra order of 4 or 5 gold, and I used them to replace the arrow keys because I think it makes it look cooler, and it does look cooler. Now, another thing that I noticed about the Awekeys keycaps is that while the quality looks pretty good from the outside, we realized that a lot of the keycaps actually don't really fit the switches used. Some keys or some keycaps will get stuck. So after you press the keycaps, it gets stuck into the switches and you kind of have to manually lift it up to continue using the keys. And initially, I kind of thought that this was like my own problem, like something that I did wrongly when I was installing the keys, or something's wrong with the keyboard that I was using. But as it turns out, on Kickstarter, a lot of comments were actually reflecting the same feedback that I had. And this kind of signals some red flags to me. I also checked a bit with some of my colleagues and they do face some of the same problems. And this makes me think that maybe some of the keycaps were not cut properly. You know, the stems underneath the keycaps were not cut properly, and so this probably led to it being a bit too big, which is why when you press it into the keycaps, it either can't be installed properly, it's a bit loose, or if when you press it down, it kind of forces the stem into the switches, which then jams the switch. And so fair warning to anyone who is getting any of these Awekeys keycap sets, I think you got to be aware of this issue and be prepared. We do not know yet whether Awekeys is going to be fixing this or sending any replacement sets, but it's definitely something that you're going to watch out for. And so all these keyboards actually came from Kickstarter in one way or another. So the first question we got to answer is, are these keyboards or keycaps actually worth it? And secondly, should you even be backing such projects on Kickstarter? And so for the first question, my honest answer is yes. Each of these keyboards and the keycaps are extremely unique. And in this day and age where keyboards are getting popular and more popular, they really differentiate themselves from the market very well. For example, ceramic keys, these are entirely new things that you wouldn't have like 10 years ago. But Cerakey came up with it, and even Keychron is coming up with it to try to compete. Having like a keyboard that is entirely built out of ceramic is a very unique thing that you're not going to have anywhere else. The colors also look kind of nice. It feels nice to touch. It's not too heavy. And it sounds pretty good in my opinion. Then the Cerakey one, honestly, it also depends a lot on what you're building with. So you do need maybe more research, more knowledge before you get it, because you don't want to be getting switches that can't handle the weight of the Cerakey keycaps. As for the Qwerkywriter typewriter, I would say it's also worth it, but it's very niche. It depends on how interested you are in this sort of things. For me, I love writing, I love books, I love reading books. I wanted to be a writer when I was young. And so this was kind of like a dream for me to have. But if you want to use it for serious work, unless your work is like, it's like a flashy thing that you want to show off to people, or you are a writer or something special that involves typing and in front of people, I think this may not really be it for you. So I would kind of tone this down a bit and say this isn't as worth as the other ceramic keyboards. Lastly is this metal Awekeys low profile keycaps. Not that they are delivered and I'm looking at it, it is kind of a bit too shiny, I must say, right? But I think it is very unique. Awekeys is pretty much the only one that's doing metal keycaps in the market right now. And so for the final question of whether you should be backing keyboard projects on Kickstarter, I really genuinely think it depends on the company that is behind it. So Cerakey, Awekeys and Qwerkywriter, these are established brands by now. Of course, they may have started on Kickstarter with like their first projects for Cerakey almost a few years ago, even Qwerkywriter 10 years ago. And of course, people may say, you know, a lot of Kickstarter projects are like vaporware, right? They small smoke, it's CGI renders, it's not gonna be real. But these companies have been doing their products for many years. You can actually buy their products on their websites and they'll ship it straight to you. And so now when they're actually doing another project on Kickstarter, these are actually like opportunities, I think, for people who want to get in on these specific products. Like for example, you want to get a ceramic keyboard, ceramic keycaps. This is your discount. This is the discounted price to get through Kickstarter, because these companies are established brands. They're not going to, you know, smoke you and not give you the product and ghost you. For other brands, of course, you have to be more careful. There are a lot of up and coming brands on Kickstarter which, you know, are just new, and honestly, a lot of them may use AI or CGI renders for their, you know, marketing campaigns. Those I will be a bit more wary about, unless, for example, you do see like one of the creators on YouTube reviewing the product is legit. The other thing that you must know about Kickstarter products is generally they are late, but in my experience with these 4 keyboards, I feel like they haven't been late and they have been quite on the ball. So for the Qwerkywriter keyboard, I do remember because I was telling some friends about it and it came really within the expected timeline. It came like within 1 to 2 months. So it's like pretty much as though I ordered it normally, but with a huge discount. For the Awekeys switches, I think I backed them maybe in the start of May or the end of April with one of my other friends, and they delivered like this week. So that's like end of June. So pretty much on time as well. And for this Cerakey one, I actually didn't get it from Kickstarter. I actually bought it after the Kickstarter campaign because I saw one of my friends have it. He was telling me how he got it through Kickstarter. He telling me how great it was, etc. And then I went to check and I missed the campaign. It was available for sale on their own website, the Cerakey website, and I just went ahead and ordered directly from them. And so I just got it within a week or so. And so these are established brands and it's worth getting into because they already have their entire supply chain, the supply line, the ecosystem is there. They can just deliver it quickly. You just have to be on the ball as well to provide the details, the payment, etc. So there you have it. These are the 4 keyboards that I have. I mean, definitely for me, one of it is for work, right? In the office. So I'm going to think of which one to bring to the office. One is for gaming at home. So there's another one. The last two, I don't know. One can be like a work from home keyboard and then one will be a spare. So anyway, if you have a keyboard that you swear by, that you think is really something that you would recommend everyone to get, or one of these keyboards may have some problems that I don't know about, do put it in the comments down below and I'll be sure to read it and respond to you. And if you want to follow along with what I buy next, what I'm going to buy on Kickstarter next, and there will be a next Kickstarter project that I'm backing, may not be keyboards, maybe other things like board games or tech devices, which is okay, a bit of a problem. I'm a super backer on Kickstarter now. But anyway, do subscribe to the channel and I'll be sure to bring the next product here for you guys to see.